inside, we're gonna go outside, inside and outside. We're gonna get them on the run, boys. And once we get them on the run, we're gonna keep them on the run. And then we're gonna go, 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 go. And we're not gonna stop until we get across that goal line. This is a team they say is good. Well, I think we're better than them. They can't lick us. What do you say, man?
Well, good evening, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It feels like evening because it's dark. Good morning, everybody. Game time, Brian, otherwise known as the mailman. Just got back from getting my blood work. And you know what? I am off today. It's rainy outside. I may be doing something later. So maybe I watched a little video. I'm like, let's do another content. I am uploading a video from my drive to my blood work where the lady tore me up. It didn't hurt at all, but man, she tore me up. Look at that. I'm going to have a big bruise. I'm going to have track marks. But anyway, shout out to the over 30,000 subscribers. We hit the 30,000 mark during the live stream last night. I can't tell you how happy I am for my subscribers, my partner, Primetime Phil. This year has been a whirlwind as far as getting my feet wet and how to do this whole thing called YouTube. Thanks, Mark Holmes. You told me a lot, but you didn't tell me everything. You didn't teach me everything. But what he did teach me was hard work pays off. So thank you so much. We're just getting started here. Again, we're just getting started here. The views are starting to really go up. I appreciate it. Anybody wants to be a channel member, there's a join button by my name. Join. It's $4.99 a month plus tax. We have not one, but two Zoom calls for the channel members right now. We'll do one a week at least. I'll try and do two. We'll figure it out. You know, I'm in it. I'm knee deep in it. So we're going to do a couple Zoom calls. To me, that's what people love to do, and we're going to do them. We will be giving away stuff if you make it to the 6-month part, a point of the Mailheads crew. That's my member subscription. You're part of the Mailheads because I am a mailman. I'm gonna design something and have Mark make it, or I'll figure it out, but I want to shoot out everybody something at the 6-month mark. Nothing huge, but it'll be something cool. But that being said, just hit that join button. We are creeping up there, and that helps the channel. That helps me be able to, if I can get that up, that helps me do things, buy things, giveaways and stuff like that. We're here, people. We are here. I can't wait until Mark Holmes goes out to Oxnard. I told him, we really are counting on getting content. I wish I was going in one aspect, and then I'm glad I'm not in the other, because I can't afford to go to training camp and go to Dallas in November. So I'd rather go see a real game with Mark and my partner, Primetime Phil. Rather spend time with the people, Wade Walker, Arturo. I don't know if Arturo is going to be there, but Felix. Anybody and everybody, it would be great to hang out at AT&T. Stay tuned for more information on that. But Dallas Cowboys start today. Thursday is when they're actually on field. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but we're going to be here for it. But I stumbled on this little video, and I thought it would be good. Hopefully, they don't copyright me, but it is what it is. If they do, they do. I want to listen to this, and I'll comment as I go. People say, oh, don't talk through the clip. Well, it helps me not get copyrighted as well. So here we go. Let's watch CBS News talking about the Cowboys.
And here we are, yes, once again, another training camp in Oxnard, California. Bill Jones, joined by George Teague, the former Cowboy, who will be a part of our coverage on CBS Texas again this year. Cowboys game day. And George, this is your second trip out here to Oxnard, California. Of course, many trips to training camp in the past. Isn't it just a wonderful place to have training camp?
That's your boy right there. He kicked your ass off the Star.
In Wichita Falls, they did not work for me. It was too hot, but this cool breeze is great.
All right, no Ceedee Lamb in this camp. It's not a surprise that Ceedee is not showing up on time because he's in these contract talks right now. How long can this go on before it becomes a problem?
Well, you know, I think you're right. We all expected this to happen. There was a lot of talk about, okay, how much is he really going to want? And we know he wants the Justin Jefferson money. From what I've been told, they're a lot closer than we may think. So I don't think this will go on too long. I think Jared Jones will work it out.
Yeah, I think a week.
Camp as soon as possible.
You know, just the general feelings about this team as this camp opens.
And
I sense a lack of buzz around this camp as far as fan interest because of what happened in the playoffs last year, which is unusual considering the fact they're coming off 3 straight 12-win seasons. But I think it's the lack of activity in free agency. I mean, you look at the list, it is not a long list. It's basically Zeke Elliott and Eric Kendricks, veteran free agents that they signed in the offseason. This is a prove-it type camp for this team, I think.
Well, we've heard a lot of people describe it with the word, meh, I don't know, just kind of there. You know, when you're the biggest free agent is Mike Zimmer, the new defensive coordinator, it doesn't really boost the fans base or even myself to be able to do that. So, you know, I think this is going to be interesting to you to see how well they do.
All right, having said that about Mike Zimmer, this is a guy who played for Mike Zimmer. He knows Mike Zimmer well. The change from Dan Quinn to Mike Zimmer in a nutshell, what are we looking at here?
I think Mike Zimmer is going to bring something different, like emphasizing team, playing together, making sure that everyone is doing all the right things to play good, not just for themselves, but for everyone. You know, my days of playing with him, playing with Woody and Prime, you know, he had a lot of attitudes there that he had to try to control. So I know he's really preaching team.
You know, and when he went to Minnesota, he took over the number 32 ranked defense in the league in Minnesota, and for 8 out of 9 years they were a top 10 defense, and he basically did the same thing at Cincinnati. The track record is there for Mike Zimmer, not to say what he did with Parcells with the Cowboys, and then earlier that was part of course, the coaching staff that won the Super Bowl the last time.
Well, you know, the players are really going to love this scheme. I've been seeing that a lot of safeties, corners are really liking what's going to happen here because he tries to put guys in position to play, to be all-pro while playing within the team aspect. So I think it's going to be fun to see Trayvon Diggs, Bland, I'm the secondary guys.
People forget we missed them.
Okay, and finally, you mentioned the name, Trayvon Diggs. Of course, you all know George is an Alabama guy. Trayvon is an Alabama guy. How much did they miss him last year, and how much do they need a healthy Trayvon Diggs this year?
Yeah, he was very critical. He is someone that you had to have on the field. The way that he plays, his playmaking ability, you know, he's one of the best corners. And I would have to say that a lot of that's because of Al Harrison, what he's done, and being able to understand players and how to motivate them on and off the field. A former player who can reach into, guys like this in times of adversity.
Oh, one more thing. What is it that you're looking at when you watch practice out here? What is it that you're going to be looking for more than anything?
Well, day one, I'm looking to see who's in shape and who's really coming in ready to play.
Who's ready to
roll.
The
second piece is what is the difference in the attitudes? Are they really gelling and playing as a team, as Mike Zimmer's been talking about? What kind of new schemes or wrinkles has Mike McCarthy put into it? So I just want to see if we can pull it all together and be one single unit.
All right. George Teague, former Cowboy. He'll be with us on Cowboys Game Day throughout the season on CBS News Texas. And that's it for this day here in Oxnard, California.
There we go. George Teague lays it out there. I'm going to stick by my stance. I told Mark Holmes last night, I said this defense is going to be dynamic this year. We haven't lost much. We lost Jonathan Hankins on one technique. He didn't give you much pay. He was an older guy. He had a decent year. Again, I like the fact that people are sleeping on us. But when you look at this defense is going to be a lot better than it was last year. Sam Williams had 7.5 sacks with playing sparingly. Listen, obviously he has to lay away. He has to stop with the silly penalties. Here's the deal, people, when it comes to Sam Williams. When you coach play for a coach like Mike Zimmer, Mike Zim is going to help him immensely. He's not going to hurt. Again, he needs a structure. Repetitions. Sam Williams is coming into this season knowing he's a starter. There's an air of confidence with that. You got to remember when Dan Quinn was here, and Dan Quinn did a lot of great things as far as causing turnovers. Different type of scheme. I love Zimmer's scheme better. Now, Drew and some other people will say we don't have the pieces to fill that scheme. Again, when you're talking about corners and safeties, we have them with abundance. When you talk about pass rushers, we have them. It's the one technique, the defensive tackles. People act like we don't have defensive tackles. Osa Odigizua made a Pro Bowl. Osa is in a contract year. Osa's very good. It's not like we don't have pieces. We have some young one techniques, and we got Mozzie Smith. We have some veterans on the team that also play, like Carl Davis. Again, I'm not jumping up and down, but I expect this team to make a move. But if Justin Rogers or Denzel Daxon, both one techniques, rookies, if one of them is, flashes, then all for naught. Again, lay under the radar. But when you start hearing, now, who's going to excel in this type of system is a Malik Hooker, a Marquise Bell, a Wanye Thomas. Let's not forget, we did not have Trayvon Diggs last year for pretty much the whole season. Now, he may not be ready to go out the gate 100%, but this scheme is different. Okay, Trayvon Diggs, again, people forget how good Trayvon and Deron Bland, who they are elite. They are top 5 cornerback tandems in the league. And then you bring back Jordan Lewis. Okay, you got a bunch of guys who are improving years. Israel Mukwamu, Nashawn Wright, Eric Scott we drafted last year. Again, new Kalen Carson. If we're going to look at other teams like the Eagles and say, well, they drafted and, they're young, they're going to be good. Well, then you can't look at us and say the same. Not to mention Stephon Gilmore, who has not been signed by any team. Now, I just want all my Cowboys fans who think, well, why can't we get Stephon? Listen, I think Stephon's being smart. He's waiting for an injury, possibly with Dallas. I hope not. Knock on wood. Knock on wood, there is no injuries. But Stephon Gilmore if he was that coveted for a team like Washington Commanders, who have close to $38 million under the cap and have to spend some to get to the floor, basically. And his defensive coordinator on that defense that needs a cornerbacks did not sign Stephon Gilmore. So I'm not saying they won't, but they haven't. And why? Ask yourself why. If Stephon Gilmore is, like we started hearing that he was tailing off as the year progressed. Stephon Gilmore is a great third cornerback. He was forced into a starter position. And, I think by the end of the year, he got worn out. Maybe he was dealing with some injury. I don't know, age, but he wasn't as close to the receivers as he was earlier in the year. That just, just watch the tape, people. That's what happened. But I'm very excited about the defense. I told Mark it's going to be dynamic. I think it's going to be a top 10 defense. It was top 10 last year. And I think our linebackers are way better. If people want to say, well, DeMarvion Overshown's basically a rookie. Yes, we were using safeties, 205-pound Marquise Bell as linebackers in a playoff game. After we lost Leighton Vander Esch, it was bad. It was bad, people. Our front office let us down, let Dan Quinn down. Dan Quinn obviously wanted Bobby Wagner to start the year last year. They didn't go out and give him anything. We lost linebacker Overshown in the preseason. Did not really replace him. And then once just remember, we lost Overshown, who was a projected starter. He was killing it in preseason. We lost Leighton Vander Esch. Okay? We had Damone Clark and a cast of safeties. That's what we had. We didn't have Trayvon Diggs. I'm excited to see what Zim's going to do with Micah Parsons. And I'm excited to see our young defensive linemen. And if need be, we're already talking to a couple one techs as I make this video. So again, there's still players out there. Everybody needs to take a breath. But in that video, they said the fans, there's no excitement. I don't know if it's no excitement. I think we're all holding our breath. We're all holding our breath to see what this team's going to do, who's going to be re-signed. I made a statement last night saying, what would you guys do if by the time the season starts, they have a press conference and McCarthy's re-signed, Zimmer's extended, Dak is signed, and CeeDee Lamb is signed. Micah Parsons not getting done this year. It doesn't make financial or fiscal sense to do it this year. It'll be done after this year, or he won't be on the team, but he'll be done. The bigger one is Dak Prescott, the elephant in the room who's no longer an elephant because everybody talks about it. CeeDee's going to be signed, people. Micah, 90% is going to be signed. It's whether Dak Prescott, Mr. I don't have to make the most money. We'll see what he gets. I'm hearing upwards and over $60 million. Well, then you're not going to be a Cowboy, Dak. Okay? Then that's fine. You're going to have to move on. You're not going to be a Dallas Cowboy if you want $61, $62 million annually. Not going to happen. And no offense, Dak, I don't think you deserve it. I think you need to fall in line, maybe just ahead of Jared Goff, even though Jared Goff's been to a Super Bowl. It's about postseason success. I understand. Dan Sileo says players get paid on the regular season. I would disagree a little bit. I understand what the market is saying, but Dak is not like Dak hasn't made money. Dak has made a lot of money, and they have made Dak earn his money. But I think Dak should fall in around 55, 56 tops. I would like to go a little less, but I think that's fair. And he can say, well, I can get 58 to 61 on the open market. But you got to play a whole season to get to the open market. And God forbid you suffer another injury, you ain't getting that, especially to the same leg. I'm just saying the big question mark is Dak Prescott and if it gets done. Quite frankly, I'm tired of talking about Dak Prescott getting it done. I'm ready for he's moving on or he's locked up. That's what I'm ready for. But I'm not going to make this video too long. I just wanted to say and share that it's not all doom and gloom. Okay, Vegas has dropped us by a half a game. We are sitting at 10 wins over under. If I had to say right now over under, I'm going to go over. I haven't analyzed. I'm going to wait to do my prediction for the NFC East. My initial response was the Eagles. And what I'm hearing and seeing, I think Eagles defense is not going to be very good. My opinion, first glance. But I could be wrong. I think their offense, but here's the deal with the Eagles. If the Eagles' offense is scoring 30 points a game, similar to Dallas, and they have the most talent on offense than any team in the NFL this year, by a lot. If they score 30 points a game, that defense is going to be just fine, and that's going to be enough to win them the East. But we'll get into all that later. I'll probably have more stuff going on today. I am off today. I might be going out later to a movie, so I don't know if that's really happening or we'll play it out by ear. I may do a lunchtime chat. I may not. I'll make sure I do another video this evening. Everybody, I hope you have a wonderful day. Make sure you have your bell notifications on. If I do decide to do a live stream and lunchtime chat, you will be the first to know. All right, everybody. Game Time Brian, otherwise known as a mailman, saying, holla, we them boys. Holla, we them boys. Late.
No one, and I mean no one, comes into our house and pushes us around. This is your game now, gentlemen. And for you seniors, it's your last one, so make it count. Because you'll remember it for the rest of your lives. Let's get them.